And we're back with our Unit 4 text. The text is what to do with our premonitions. In the previous video, we read the text once, we dealt with some vocabulary exercises, we did some matching, and in this video we're going to do some deeper analysis of the text, deal with also a little bit of vocabulary, and do some true or false exercises to check whether you understood the point of the text. Okay, let's go from the beginning. We're going to we will be explaining the words emphasized with red, and those which are underlined will be discussed later on, okay? I'd like you first to think about the word premonition. Do you understand what this word means? Premonition. Premonition, as we said, is a strange or an unpleasant feeling that something bad will happen, that some tragic event will occur. Okay, let's go through the text once more to do some more analysis. In the weeks following the terrible events of September 11th, 2001, I received dozens of emails from people, blah, blah, blah. Dozen. Okay? How much is it? Dozen. Dozen is 12 pieces. Okay? So half a dozen is 6. People who claimed to have had premonitions. If you claim something, what do? In this context, people who claimed something basically declared something, said something firmly, stated, okay, gave some utterance, their feeling, their belief, okay? Weeks before the fateful day. What kind of day is it, if it is a fateful day? I believe the author of the text wanted to say tragic day. Okay. And the last sentence of the second paragraph. There lies the problem with the vast majority of premonitions. They are not documented. Vast majority. Vast means huge, big, okay, enormous. Majority is the great number of something. Right? Majority. Okay. The phone rings, the third paragraph. The phone rings, you know who it is calling, even though the call was unexpected. Even though, despite the fact. Okay. I suppose you're familiar with this one. Sometimes the premonition isn't as specific, but just as strong. Okay. You have one as here and one as here, as specific but as strong. Okay, refers to the same strength, the same amount of something. Okay. Unexplained feeling of sadness. Feeling of sadness. I suppose you understand feeling of sadness. When you're sad, you feel sadness. But feeling of sadness it's a very nice phrase to use. Okay. These feelings are also most powerful between close relatives. Close relatives. Okay, be careful with the pronunciation of the word close, because there is also a word close. Okay, so this is not close, this is close. Close is an adjective, and to close is a verb. Okay, to close the door. Close means when you're fond of something and you have a special bond, okay, special connection. Who are relatives? Relatives are your cousins, okay, relatives, where the psychic bond seems to be strongest. Psychic, okay, P is not pronounced here. Psychic bond is, let's say, some kind of special connection, psychic, as a mental, spiritual bond, spiritual connection. The terrorist attacks of September 11th were preceded by a number of premonitions. Okay, this is a nice passive construction. Okay, we've dealt with the passive voice, so be careful and try to pay attention to the passive structures whenever you can. Okay, we have by section and were preceded. Okay, to precede means to happen before something, or to go in front of something, to precede, and the opposite is to follow. Okay. A week before the attack, one mother dreamt about spinning into blackness. Spinning into blackness. If you're spinning, you make a special motion of making circles, okay, into blackness, into something very, very dark and unpleasant. Okay. It sounded like Rosa Horrocks. She said disturbed by the dream. Okay, if you are disturbed by the dream, this also looks like a passive, right? If you are disturbed, you are nervous, you're upset, okay? You don't feel well if you're disturbed, right? Okay, and let's move to the last paragraph in this section, most bizarrely. If something is bizarre, it is very strange, odd, peculiar, unusual. Okay? And this is not an adjective, this is an adverb. We were talking about adverbs, okay, with ly suffix at the end. Okay, the sixth sense is not restricted to humans. There are countless examples, countless. Less, we said less means without. Count is to number, right? Number. Countless, no number. Okay, countless examples, no number, many, too many, numerous. Okay, apparent premonitions. Apparent means obvious, which are easy to see and notice. Okay. Let's move on to the third paragraph here. The cat became increasingly agitated. Increasingly agitated. Very upset. Okay. Extremely annoyed. Increasingly agitated. Okay. Forcing her to stop. If you're forcing somebody to do something, we are trying to make a person do something. Okay. At that moment, a large tree crashed onto the road just a few yards ahead of the woman. Ahead of. I wanted you to make sure you know this preposition of space. Ahead of, in front of. Okay. And finally, we have an if sentence. If she had continued driving, she would have been killed. Try to translate the sentence to understand it better. This is the third conditional referring to the past events. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's do some more vocabulary exercises. So in your textbook, page 34, there's a true or false exercise, right? So the exercise says, read the article again, decide whether the sentences are true or false. I haven't written the sentences here, but you have them solved basically. So number one says we have evidence for our premonitions. So the first one is basically false. Premonitions are not documented based on the text. Number two, animals also have the sixth sense. This is true. Okay, animals can feel it too. The third one, September 11th is the date of the tsunami in 2004. This is false, right? Okay, this one's easy. 4. 2,830 people died in the New York's Twin Towers during the attack. This is true. Okay. The fifth one says twins are usually very close and have a specific bond. True. And the last one says dreams are not considered premonitions. False. Dreams are considered premonitions. Yes. Okay. Let's move to vocabulary exercise 1, the same page. Read the text again and work out the meaning of the underlined verbs. I've done this for you as well. So the first verb given is dismiss from the text, meaning reject, let go, or free. Okay, dismiss the claim, for example. The second is verify. Verify means to confirm or to prove something, okay, to provide verification. Okay. Foretell, okay, foretell, to predict or foresee. Fortune teller, to foretell, okay. Bother. Bother means to disturb or worry. Okay, if you are bothering somebody, you are disturbing them. Okay. Make out in this context means see clearly or realize. Okay, be careful with the phrasal verbs. Sometimes make out can mean something completely different. If you're making out with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you are not seeing clearly. Basically, you are expressing fondness and kissing and hugging the person, definitely. Okay. Overreact, exaggerate, or get overexcited about something. Okay. These are the words which you need to analyze from the text, and those words have been underlined for you. And I have a small asterisk here saying all other words in the exercise given in your textbook are extra, which means they're additional. You do not need to deal with them at all. Okay. Number 2, write down the opposite adjectives of the adjectives given in the table. You may add a prefix or suffix or write a new word. Okay, I've done this for you as well. So on my left you have the adjectives, and on the right you have the opposite. So I'm going to just go through them quickly. Faithful, unfaithful, or faithless. Be careful in which context you will be using unfaithful and in which context faithless. Okay, it's not the same. Unfaithful and faithless. Worthy, unworthy. Powerful, weak or powerless. Rare, frequent, often. Psychic, normal, common. Apparent, obscure. Agitated, calm. Okay, l is not pronounced. Peaceful. Documented, undocumented. Vast, narrow, small-scaled. And to end this video, we will do number 3, match the given nouns with their meanings. Basically, I've also done this one for you, but I've made 2 words bold, bond and instance, because the other words are not included in the text. You might deal with them and try to understand. So the words given are wreck, bond, debris, proof, and instance. And they are basically matched with the meaning given on the right. Example, trash remains, connection, evidence, damage, damaged goods. So bond is a connection, and instance means example.